благодарим. Мишо, благодарим и на теб за интрото. Костин, take a seat, please join us. So happy to have you here, all the way from Bucharest.
Yes, thank you for the invitation.
We spoke the other day while preparing this conversation now, and yeah, both we Bulgarians and Romanians tend to somehow neglect that we have so many common things, so many similarities, one border, and we somehow think that we're so far away, but we're not. And you're also a good example of that in terms of business and entrepreneurship. Mishu, our wonderful host, mentioned that your company is already present on 14 markets, but you founded it in Romania, in Bucharest, and you have actually a Bulgarian investor. So what a better example of this Bulgarian-Romanian connection happening with your company?
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's because we are in a business which is quite to the point, with the transparency business. We think that even HR and, of course, trends are very common in general, but they need to be localized. And I have to admit that I listened to you quite carefully, but I did understand only employer branding, and employer branding. So let's localize this employer branding because, of course, maybe we will go through some of what we do and so on. And I'll give you an example just to have the comparison what we really do. But indeed, we discovered from all the countries that we are present that we are different. And that's okay.
Tell us the story of where we work. Kaderabotim, by the way, is the Bulgarian brand which is active here in Bulgaria. Yeah, what was the problem you were looking to solve when you founded the company?
Well, in fact, at that time, because I founded the company in 2011, I worked in a company, in a multinational company. I'm pretty sure it's known to you. It's Ubisoft. I worked for them for 13 years, and in fact, I was I was supporting the HR department, seeing candidates, speaking with them, taking the final decision. Why not? And honestly, around 80% of the thing that I was doing was to say who we are, how strong we do, how salary we pay, and so on and so on. So it got really boring. And I said, what about having those candidates coming to us, already knowing about us, at least a bit of information, of course not all the salary and all the structure and so on, but we go there. And I said, okay, what about a public platform that we can have? At that time, I recognized it was a platform similar to us, but with very hate speech. You know, all the Balkans like to, when they are angry, to go to say, I'm not happy. And I said, okay, let's do it professionally. And it was kind of, I don't know, let's do it. Then since 2017, we got investors. We grew organically. Investors, you know how they are. Let's make money. Let's push the things. Okay, hold on. They had one mandatory request to go globally. So since then, things went crazy. Just to give you the similarity, because again, at least in Bulgaria, with the brand Kaderabotim.bg, part of where we work, we're quite fresh. But I'm pretty sure that you all know Glassdoor, which is the big shark in this industry. If they go west, we go east. So we expand to more and more countries, including Arab countries.
You mentioned that there are similar platforms on these markets with a lot of hate speech happening, and guys, most of you know this thing called beggar.data, which is basically a platform where you hate your former employer. So the lack of transparency, is it a cultural thing? Is it something that Bulgarians or Romanians tend to
Well, very good
hide?
question. Yeah. Yes, it is. Even we tend to say, okay, we have common things. We do, I don't know, things that we usually do. No, we are pretty different. I mean, the more we go to the West, the more the transparency is a common thing. I mean, we like to give feedback, to receive feedback, by the way. But the more we go to the eastern part of the world, it becomes this, okay, who are you? Why are you talking about me? Are you allowed? I'm not okay with this, and so on and so on. But the good thing is that, and we saw it in Romania, for example, but we observe it in every country, we have a potential, a very huge potential to grow in adopting this transparency, because we speak about, work environment, we speak about, salaries, we speak about the sense of work, we speak a lot of strengths. But trust me, and of course, I'm based on data that we have, transparency is the common thing.
Why is it so important? You mentioned the working environment, and I guess most of us would say that transparency in general in the working environment is important, but why is this so important in the process of recruiting?
Well, it is. Just imagine you'd like to go on holiday. You go on Booking, most probably, or TripAdvisor. You want to book a restaurant. You look at reviews. You look at what other people say and so on. So why not in the labor market? And the good part of it, and of course, I based myself again on data. We are working with more than 500 companies, global companies. Because we all know employer branding is not, we talk today about it and tomorrow it's flower power and it's already implemented. No, if we start today, maybe in 6 months, 1 year and so on, it will be happening. So the more transparent we are, the more qualitative candidates we got, because they are informed. I mean, again, in this era, we can't stop them informing. People ask about what's my salary, what's my, how the next boss looks like, and so on.
Kostin, maybe you can go a bit deeper and give us a concrete example of something from your work that could be interesting for the audience.
Yeah, sure. As I've told you, during the years we work with many global companies. So I'm pretty. I would recommend an early bird concept. You know, as I've told you, employer branding doesn't happen on the spot or right now, and so on. If you think about it, just think what actions you do today to happen. To get the results after a certain period of time, and we get it in the analytics that we do. People usually accept your interview invitation, but guess what? Sometimes I assume they don't show up to the interview, even on Zoom or whatever, Teams. So we managed to lower this part. The presence is much higher. The retention is much higher because I know about that company. Even that company is not paying too much or whatever. Even I know, let's say, from public information that my boss could be a bit crazy, let's say. But I can tell you that people resonate with some of their needs at a certain moment. So during the time you can observe the investment, let's say.
Let me provoke you with a question. Does the magic go away with the whole transparency? If you want to go out with someone, a boy or a girl, yep. You don't want he or she to know everything about you. There has to be some mystery behind it. So when knowing everything in advance about your potential employer, doesn't the magic go away?
Yeah, sure, why not? Just imagine that you discover that the salary is less than your expectation, and you lose, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. The magic still happens even here. But again, it's about being logical. It's about being, having realistic expectations and so on. Each of us resonate with different aspects. Where we work, and of course, Kaderabotim.bg in Bulgaria, because we have a lot of other countries. I'm pretty sure that can do this aspect and can help you in your efforts.
Kostin, last question. We are obviously at a Forbes event, and Forbes is all about business. So how can Kaderabotim help Bulgarian businesses grow?
Well, if you expect that we help you tomorrow or maybe within 1 week, 1 month, and so on, of course, that's not feasible and realistic because this is the industry. I mean, if we all are looking for good and qualitative candidates, we need to think in perspective. All our efforts are based on data. We just finished, we just concluded a partnership, a collaboration, in fact, an international collaboration with LinkedIn. Everything that goes on Kaderabotim, for example, in Bulgaria, but all on our platform, has resonance in LinkedIn. I mean, all the jobs are listed and promoted, by the way, on LinkedIn. So it's a matter what I would suggest and how we work with our clients, because you said it's also a business. We take it from here, and we have an objective, and we always measure it. So if we know what to do, for sure we can adapt, of course, if the things need to be adapted. But I can tell you one thing: we have almost 100% renewal rate on all the clients.
Well, you finished with something that's transparent about your business, and hopefully you help more and more Bulgarian companies become more transparent in the recruiting process.
Yeah, so I mean, I congratulate you for to being open, to being transparent, and yeah, let's meet next time again.
And you have very good macarons. Macarons, not macarons. Macarons was the French guy.
Yes, my colleagues.
I only had one, and but the colleagues had a couple. Not mentioning who.
My colleagues and I invite you to our booth, and yeah, to taste the macarons and have a chat. And again, I really, really thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.